Hello YouTube and welcome back to another Dare to Game video. Today we're doing another ranking video for Mountain Blade to Bannerlord, and today it's going to be the best archers in the game. And so, like the previous video, I'll mostly just be showing you stats and talking about all the pros and cons of these things. But yeah, let's just dive on into it and start off with number 5. We'll be basing these off lots of things. Stats, weapons, armor, all that sort of stuff. So let's dive on in and start it off. All right, and so at number 5, we're starting off down lower with the Sturgian Veteran Bowmen. So these ones are going to be not purchasable, but recruitable from any Sturgian location, so all the towns and then small villages. And this will just be from the main Sturgian recruit. So these ones are nice and easy to recruit, which is a nice perk of them. And you go from recruit down to woodsman, and then down to hunter, and then archer, and then veteran bowman. The hunter and archer are okay as far as archer troops go. They're not a whole lot special to them, but once you get to the Sturgian veteran bowman, you get to a pretty decent troop. And so for this one, things to talk about: it's got pretty good armor for an archer, nice, decently heavy helmet, good body coverage, and then, you know, it's not the best you'll see, but it's also not the worst. It's pretty good for a tier 5 archer. It makes sense that this one is dressed the way that they are. The perks about this one, other than being pretty easy to recruit because it's just the basic troop tree here and there are plenty of settlements to recruit them from, we do have some basic stats to look at here. So our bow is 140, one-handed is 120. Both of those are important. Nice high athletics of 130, so that's good. So decent stuff there. Honestly, like I said, this one's mostly just a convenience one. It's not the best archer in the game. It's going to outclass pretty much any unit that's not a tier 5 archer is not going to be as good of an archer as this one, but there are quite a few other tier 5 archers that are going to be significantly better, which is why this one takes the number 5 spot. But like I said, easy to recruit, plenty of them, nice and easy to level up because it doesn't require a ridiculous amount of XP, and pretty solid armor, weapons, and stats. So that's number 5, the Sturgian Veteran Bowman. Alright, and so at number 4, we've got the KHUZAIT Marksmen, which was the army I was using at the beginning of the video was made up of KHUZAIT marksmen. And so this one is going to be another one that's nice and easy to recruit. It starts out as just the KHUZAIT nomads, so any KHUZAIT towns and villages, you'll find nomads in them or anywhere up along the path. But then for upgrading it to this one, you're going to want to go to the footmen, which is the infantry path, and then follow the left-hand side to do the KHUZAIT hunter, KHUZAIT archer, and finally the KHUZAIT marksman. So this one has some advantages over the Sturgians, one of which is a better bow and I think more arrows, but also better armor overall. So this one's it's still on the lighter end for armor in the game, but on the higher end of light armor, I guess. For our stats to look at here, we've got, again, a nice high athletics of 130, one-handed of 130, and a bow of 130. So real balanced all around, but pretty solid unit. So this one makes it's definitely good out in the field, but it's excellent in circumstances like defending in a siege. So the KHUZAIT marksman does come with 2 bags of arrows, which is nice because not all archers do. Like I've said, it's got a good bow. All the KHUZAIT bows are very nice, very strong, so they hit hard and they fire very fast because they're not longbows. This one also has a pretty high one-handed stat and a decent enough weapon for it, so once they run out of arrows, they're not totally useless, and when enemies get up close, they are, again, just not totally useless. And that pairs with the good armor to make it a solid unit. So I like the KHUZAIT marksmen. I think they're a significantly better unit than the Sturgian veteran bowmen. Again, they're going to outclass anything that's not a tier 5 archer, but they're also going to outclass clearly some tier 5 archers. So that's the KHUZAIT marksmen. Number 4, let's move on to number 3. So here at number 3, kind of in the middle here, we have the Imperial Palatine Guard. And now this one is going to be another one that is just your basic recruit. So you get your Imperial recruits from anywhere in the Empire. That's the Northern, Southern, or Western Empire. They're all the same. And then you're going to go to the Imperial Archer right off the bat. And then from there you go to the Trained Archer, the Veteran Archer, and the Palatine Guard. And so this one is going to be better than the KHUZAIT Marksman and the Sturgian Veteran Bowman for a number of reasons. One of which being just better armor. So again, we're upgrading again. This has heavier, more durable armor than either of those 2 previous troops. Another one is it's even easier to recruit because yes, all 3 of these are basic recruits to make them, but there are just way more Imperial settlements, so you can quickly get a giant amount of Imperial Palatine Guards. The other advantage being that the next one down, the Imperial Veteran Archer, is also quite good. Not obviously as good as any of these 3, but it's going to be a pretty solid unit that comes pretty close to being as good as the Sturgian Veteran Bowman. So that's another advantage to going this one. Outside of that, we've got, like I said, nice heavy armor, a real solid bow skill at 140, putting it above both of the other ones. Our melee weapon skill is 130 for one-handed, which is what they're going to be equipped with. And like I said, because they've got that nice high athletics of 130, one-handed of 130, and the heavy armor, they also are a pretty effective infantry unit once they've run out of arrows. So the Imperial Palatine Guard is one of my favorite archer units in the game, at least on foot, and they take the number 3 spot on this list. All right, so for the number 2 spot, our second best one in the game based on all the testing I've done, we have the ASERAI Master Archer. And now this one is going to be, again, just your basic things. So you're going to be looking for ASERAI recruits, and then you're going to go down and upgrade them to the ASERAI Tribesmen, and then go through the Light Archer, ASERAI Archer, and ASERAI Master Archer. The only con about the ASERAI Master Archer is the light armor. Now, mind you, it's not as light as it looks in the picture because it looks kind of just like a gambeson, but you can see that there's mail underneath. It is lighter than some tier 5 archers, but it's not ridiculously light. It's not like they're glass cannons or anything. They do have plenty of arrows, having 2 bags. They've got a nice strong bow. You can see for our stats here, we've got a bow stat of 160, so decently high there. One-handed of 130 and athletics of 130. Like I said, the only con about them at all is that they have lighter armor than I wish they did. I guess other than that the bow, although it is powerful and accurate and they can fire it very fast, it's not nearly as powerful as longbows in the game and doesn't have as good of a range. So I guess that's a downside. But they are a really, really good archer unit, and they're really easy to recruit because, like I said, it's just your basic ASERAI recruits, and you'll find a whole bunch of them down in the southern portion of the map. Pretty dang good. I think a lot of people rank the ASERAI troops a lot lower than they should just because I think their armor doesn't look as good. If you compare across all the different kingdoms in the game, the ASERAI probably have the worst looking armor, which is a shame because it could have been really, really unique and cool, and some of it is. Like, some of their units have really cool armor, but this one, not so much. They are definitely a lot better than I think people give them credit for. So the ASERAI Master Archer solidly takes the number 2 spot in my opinion, and on the bright side, even though, yes, it is tier 5, so it takes a while to level up to it, the ASERAI Archer, which is the next step down, is a pretty good archer too. So it's again going to be like a lot of these on the list for a tier 4 archer. It is actually pretty solid. So with all that in mind, at number 2, the ASERAI Master Archer, let's move on to number 1. And of course, at number 1, there's really no competition. The Battanian Fian champion is by far, or Fian, I think it's Fian, that's what I always say, at least in my head, but maybe it's Fian. But anyway, it's by far the best. For one thing, it's not tier 5, it's actually a tier 6 unit, and that's because the Highborn Youth, which is what you have to start with to get this one, actually starts off as a tier 2 unit. So basically, here's the thing. If you want to have archers in the game and you like on-foot archers, you want that to be your main thing, or at least if you're looking for the best, the Battanians are the best way to go because this entire skill tree are some of the best archers in the game. They've got these nice, powerful longbows that give them excellent range and damage, as well as accuracy. The only thing is they're a little bit slower, but not that much slower. And honestly, given the speed at which archers can run out of arrows, it's probably a good thing that they're a little bit slower. But anyway, the Fian champion just takes the cake. For one thing, we've got a nice high athletics of 170, so they're excellent on foot. They have a one-handed of 90, which is pretty low, but most of the time, at least in my experience, they're equipped with a two-handed weapon. I've seen them with one-handed, which is why I mentioned that, but most of the time they're equipped with a two-handed weapon, and since their two-handed is 220, they are phenomenally good with that blade. But of course, this is an archer video, so our bow of 260. So just ridiculously high bow skill, excellent two-handed weapon, pretty dang solid armor if we're talking about it. These are just the best archers you can get in the game. If you've got a full army of Battanian Fian champions, you're basically unstoppable, even on max difficulty, because I've tested it all the way around. Of course, normal difficulty, they dominate. But if you bring it all the way to make it the hardest thing in the world, and you know how to arrange your troops and have anything else, these guys just dominate the battlefield. Usually, the other troops haven't even reached my units by the time their morale's broken. Ridiculously good. And so as a close runner-up to the number 1 spot, the Battanian Fian, just the plain one, is also a better unit than every other archer on this list. So the Battanian Fian is better than the ASERAI Master Archer, Imperial Palatine Guard, KHUZAIT Marksman, and the STURGIAN Veteran Bowman, which makes sense given this is the tier 5 Battanian Archer unit. So if you want to do excellent archer armies, these are the guys to go with, because even before you get them up to the absolute top tier bee's knees, you've still got the real #1 spot that beats out the ASERAI Master Archer, Imperial Palatine Guard, KHUZAIT Marksman, and the STURGIAN Veteran Bowman. That is all I've got to say about archers today, and that is all for today. So that's all of our top 5. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it useful. Archers are just a dominating force on the field, and now obviously some are better than others, but all of them are pretty dang good. I've won some incredible... You can see this battle right here. They're just in too close, so the cavalry is kind of shredding through them and everything. Plus, I'm fighting against a way bigger enemy here just because I wanted one to have a little action in the video. But yeah, they are so unbelievably good if you're anywhere near the same amount, plus if you have any strategic advantages. So archers are definitely an excellent force. Inside the walls, outside the walls, and on the open field. I hope this video helped you pick out the top 5, but that's all for today, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching another Dare to Game video. If you like this video, please leave a like and a comment. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel. If you like my content and would like to support this channel, consider becoming a member today for as little as $1.99 a month. It makes a huge difference. But in any case, thanks for watching, and have a nice day. I'll see you next time.